So the first thing that you want to do is check that you're in the correct alignment. So starting at the feet, we're going to make sure that the feet are flat on the floor, the knees are bent at hip width, that our knees are about 90 degrees. Then we're going to have a little look at the pelvic position, because this is the most important area to focus on when we're activating the abdominals. Because if our pelvis is out of alignment, let's say we're tucking that tailbone under, then you'll find that you're probably sucking in rather than bracing the abdominals. So untuck that tailbone. So we want to make sure that the hip bone and the pubic bone are aligned, and this should mean that underneath the back here, the lower vertebrae, the bottom of your spine, is not pressing down into the mat. So if your tailbone was tucked, it would be pressed down into the mat. So we're going to untuck. And we're going to make sure that it's not overarching away from the mat either, like this. And the pelvis is tilted forward. So come back to neutral. So the hip bone and the pubic bone is aligned, and the lower back is just hovering just off the floor slightly. We're going to take the attention to the bottom rib and make sure it's not flaring. So if you show me flaring, that's it. Tuck it down. There we go. We're aligned. The shoulders are relaxed and down, and then the chin is tucked in and the head is on the floor, looking straight up. So what I'm going to get you to do, Claire, is I'm just going to place your fingertips on your hip bones. And then we're just going to move about 2 inches inwards. So we're just underneath, about 2 inches below the belly button, just above the pubic bone here. And this is the area where we're best able to feel the activation of the deepest core muscle, the transverse abdominis. So before you begin, we want to make sure the abdominal brace is connected to your breathing. So we always inhale and relax the abdomen, and then exhale and recruit and engage the core, so perform that abdominal brace. So we're going to take a big deep breath in, Claire, do that Darth Vader style breathing into the thoracic vertebrae, the belly is relaxed, and then we exhale. And as we exhale, I want you to think about drawing the 2 hip bones towards one another. Now we want to make sure that the abdominal brace is connected to both your pelvic floor activation and your breathing. So as we inhale, we want to make sure our belly is relaxed, we're breathing into the thoracic vertebrae, and we're relaxing the pelvic floor fully. And then as we exhale, we are going to lift the pelvic floor, so we squeeze and we lift, and then we engage the lower abdomen. And we do this by drawing the 2 sides of the hip bones towards one another. It's that kind of feeling that you're drawing them in. The spine shouldn't move, so as you breathe out and you brace the abdominals, don't flatten your lower back into the mat. If you find you are doing this, it's a sign that you are sucking your abdominals in rather than bracing the abdominal muscles. The vertebrae and the spine should not move. So we're going to inhale, relax the pelvic floor, relax the lower abdomen. And then exhale, lift pelvic floor, brace the lower abdomen. If you're finding this difficult, then what I usually say to clients is have a little practice of keeping the fingers down on this area and coughing for me. So if we cough, you'll feel all of the muscles of your lower abdomen bounce up, and that is the muscles recruiting to help with the forceful exhalation. Now what you want to do is you want to try and perform that abdominal brace similar to when you cough. You want to make those muscles do the same thing, but you also want to draw inwards as you do that with the lower abdomen. So if you cough again, but as you cough, I want you to tighten the muscles at the low to stop your belly bouncing up. Can you feel that, Claire? So that's you engaging your transverse abdominis. This time, you're going to do that movement without the cough. So we're going to inhale and relax pelvic floor, relax lower abdomen, and then exhale, lift pelvic floor and engage those muscles. It's an inward contraction. You shouldn't notice any hollowing from below the ribs. If you hollow and you see your muscles collapse inwards, you are sucking in rather than bracing the muscles. So it's going to take some practice, but the things you must remember are when you breathe in, you relax pelvic floor and lower abdomen, and as you breathe out, you lift pelvic floor and engage and tighten the muscles of the lower abdomen and relax. So we've demonstrated this in the lying position, but once you've got a good contraction and you've got a good abdominal brace mastered, you can then come into a seated position on a chair or on your bottom, making sure your pelvis is in the right alignment as demonstrated in our body awareness training videos. And you can practice the abdominal brace here. And you can also practice the abdominal brace in a standing position. Again, make sure you're aligned, your pelvis is neutral before you begin, and as you inhale, you relax pelvic floor, relax lower abdomen, and as you exhale, you lift pelvic floor and engage the lower abdomen, making sure the spine does not change its position. And then you will have mastered the abdominal brace.